to Healing Numbers 22 live numerology readings. This is where we'll all get together for an hour to discuss numbers, planets, and tarot cards and how they influence our lives. Energy is energy, no matter what modality we use, no matter how we interpret it. It basically will always say the same. So let me introduce the readers. We have Kraylin Christensen, who is the tarot card reader. We have David Woodbridge, who is an astronumerologist. Adriana McNeil, who is an intuitive numerologist. Dorothy Morgan, who is our astrologer. And I am also an intuitive numerologist. Now, it's really important to me that I hold a safe and comfortable platform for everybody. We're all on our own journey, but we're all in it together. So no judgments on others. It's all about respect and kindness. So housekeeping. I'm recording this. If you don't want anybody to see you, you can turn your video off. This will go on YouTube and it will go on my website. I also share this with all the readers. They're going to do with it whatever they want to do with it. So if you have any questions and you feel uncomfortable jumping in, just put it in the comment field or raise your hand. Adriana and I will make sure it gets answered. So I want to welcome August. Nice to have you here, August. August is a fellow Mainer at the time, so which is very nice to have somebody from the state with us. He's asked some questions here about relationships, a 12-year relationship, and a brother that he's had a little bit of difficulties with. Also looking about work, maybe trying to find something that might produce some more money, but also keep a Zen feel to it, not corporate. And buying a home is important, or finding a home that's very solid, right? Yes. Okay. So
that's a lot.
It is a lot.
Those are all the major things.
Right.
To set the stage, those are all the major things that even in an hour and a half session, just with one-on-one, I still wouldn't be able to cover, probably touch on all of those, but just to set the stage. So there, all the life.
August,
it was crazy. I was like, this is annoying. This is a lot at once. And I put it out there. It's fun.
Yeah. And August and I talked about that. I told him the most frustrating thing that we all have is we only have like 5 or 10 minutes.
I know.
And there's no possible way we can get everything in, but we can scratch the surface just enough to give you something to think about. And you can reach out to any of us at any time and get a reading. So,
and to set the stage,
all that information.
Right. And for anybody who's just seeing this video for the first time, have never seen us produce anything before, just to set that as a prerequisite, just so they know that we are not able to dig in super deep, but you're going to get a lot of content. We always share a lot with everybody. So you will get a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're also very careful. There's some questions there that are very deep, and we won't be able to do that in this setting. It's just not appropriate. So like I said, we're just going to scratch the surface a little bit. So Kraylin, our tarot card reader, she's drawn a card for us. This always starts our group. And let me share it with you. There you go.
Hi. Today's beginning card is the Princess of Wands. And this is mastery of spontaneous expression and liberation. Her coloring represents fire energy. It's letting go of or mastering internal blocks, obstacles, and obstructions. She's got the tiger by the tail, and flying up toward new opportunities. It's about letting go of fear. She's fearless. As you can see, she's pretty, she is open to the world. And as she moves upward, she's allowing her fears to be released into the fire and transmuted. So they're not keeping her blocked anymore. She moves in new directions that are energizing, like her sun wand. She wears the Aries crown as a symbol of pioneering and adventurous spirit that each of us possess. The other thing is that August, your name is very Leo, because the month of August is Leo, or most of it. And so your name kind of represents fire energy. So embrace that energy to move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kraylin.
You're welcome.
Now, Kraylin will be drawing cards throughout, 3 cards. And when the spirit moves her, she's going to draw a card. She'll raise her hand, and then we will call on her. And you will be amazed at how that will pull so much together.
Already set the stage. Very interesting.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. It is wonderful, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to start right off with cycles. I think it's important. You started a cycle in 2015, and this cycle was asking you to become more grounded, wanted you to be practical. There was a lot of work going on. You seemed to have more. It was about slow and steady wins the race, doing things step by step. You were taking care of people, but you were taking care of people on the material plane, right? You were making sure everybody was okay, materialistically. You also, there was a challenge there where you challenged yourself with sensitivity and being observant to the smaller details in life. They were there, but you might have been overlooking them, or you might have been looking at them too much, right? You also maybe give of yourself way too much. You take the hit so you don't want other people to hurt. So you take the hit knowing that you can stand up for it. But in your heart, the way you feel, it's important that you learn how to stand in your power, right? Right. It's a 19, so their numbers are opposite each other. One is all about being very independent. 9 is about the humanitarian. There's a lot of stuff going on within that, right? So let me switch this here. No, I don't want that. I'm sorry. I have a hard time when everybody's on the screen because I can't think them. Yes, so being at the opposite spectrums of the numbers, you take care of everybody, but you also wonder how much you should do for yourself, right? It kind of goes back and forth. So this is just something that you're learning, you're working through, and it's all about learning how to stand in your power, because it's just like the old adage, right? About the oxygen. If you don't take the oxygen, you can't help anybody else out. So you need to take care of yourself. But you're switching. You'll be switching into another cycle on 2024. It's not a huge shift, but it is a shift. You're ending something this year. The 9-year is asking you to release things. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dorothy brings up the balsamic moon. Yeah, right? Is that true?
Well, in a fashion, there has just been
Yes.
a lunar shift. It's not quite that, but it is very, very similar.
Hmm.
And yeah, I can talk about it when you're
Right.
done.
Yes. Yes. So you have obstructions in front of you this year, and it wants you to release what's no longer serving your greatest and highest good. Okay. A lot of times that doesn't happen at the beginning of the year. That starts to come forward, understanding a little bit better and having more strength at the end of the year because of the one energy coming in. So it's about really evaluating, looking, trying to figure out what you can release and what you need to hang on to. Now, briefly, home. I found it interesting. Maine vibrates at the number 6. Okay, Delaware is also a 33-6. So I have a feeling that you feel very comfortable with 6 energy around you, right? So that could take you to Hawaii, Montana,
Ooh.
Missouri, Massachusetts, Texas. Those are our 6 energy states,
Hawaii.
which is interesting. The next cycle that you're going into is the 6 that supports. I don't know, are you changing positions like teacher, healer, a nurse, working with animals, children, something of that nature?
I was looking at a position in New Zealand to do some meteorology.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how much fun
Cool.
is that?
It's a
Are you a meteorologist by
I
trade?
am.
Oh, how
Cool.
fun.
Okay.
Wow.
Loving
New
weather.
Zealand.
I want to go to New Zealand, but I don't want to go to New Zealand. That's about as far away from my family and core friends that I could be. So
Yeah,
there's hesitation.
you might be setting yourself up for that. Your cycle will last for until 2032, the 6 energy, but after that is a 9, and the 9 is international. So there might be setting up something there. So that's very interesting, very interesting.
I can look
Okay,
at the
I'm gonna be quiet
astrocartography.
because I'll let somebody else talk.
You are in
Dorothy?
it. You are in a big change, and I'm not prepared to look at the astrocartography right this second, but I will look at it when somebody else is talking after I give my little bit here, just to see what it looks like. I mean, moving from where you live now to where you were born and where you live now, the astrology doesn't change a whole lot, but to go that distance, I'll take a look because it makes certain energies more prominent when you move. Your natal chart is always there. The astrology of who you are as a natal chart is always present, but you'll feel the vibration, the vibe, if you will, of other planets when you move a great distance. All right. So I'll check that out. And if we get to it, we do. If not, I'll shoot you a quick little email. Couple of things, speaking about what Sue was talking about. Yes, there is, this thing, the transit of Pluto in your astrology is smack on the front of your chart and right on top of something that is really significant in astrology. It's about the life path, and it's the North Node, South Node. It's activating those things. And what that means is that, and it is part of this year, it was in May, but you're not going to really feel it until 2024. This is why there's this inner rumblings, this inner feeling of something is big is changing, something important is changing. And it's very true, because Pluto, it's Pluto, it's an evolution of who you are and your life path. There is just this inner change that's happening that is just, it's very big. But we have to allow that process to happen. And just like when Sue was talking about the 9s and a lot of things ending, when I look at Pluto and see that it's making a prominent connection, it is telling you that there is this deeper process going on, but we absolutely can't hurry it. So be patient and allow the process to do what it does. It's just like November in the Northern Hemisphere, when everything is gone by then, all of the beauty that we're seeing now still blooming. By the time we get to November, which is Scorpio timeframe, October, November, things are gone, they're dead, they're dying, but they're building nutrition, building for the next cycle. And so you're in that cycle now where you're sifting and sorting through what works in my life. You're almost about to have Uranus opposition, which everybody has at your age, somewhere between 40 and 44. That's going to create a sudden feel in a couple of years, 2024 and 2025, the sudden need to move or just to make a big change, right? You're going to feel that need and sense for freedom. Now, these are all really long, big pictures, and we have some other things that are going on relationship-wise that are really honing in on the summer, but I don't want to monopolize time, so I'll get to it if somebody else brings up other stuff. But the main process here, August, is you are absolutely in a very deep evolution right now, and this year and next year, along with all the other little bits that are happening. And then in another year after that, when the planet Uranus makes an opposition to itself from where it was born, this happens to everybody at these certain ages, then we will feel that need in that sense for independence and freedom. Doesn't mean we throw everything out. It just means we're going to start looking for something different and feeling, just making that shift. When I'm not going to call it a midlife crisis, because I don't think it's a crisis, but it's a midlife shift where if we're not listening to what the soul wants, sometimes the universe will say, hey, you ready for the 2x4? Come on, let's change or not. Are you ready? And I just went through one and I was like, yes, I'm ready. I see it coming. And I did all the things I did and it still said, not enough. Right. And throws more stuff at you. So we can only be so prepared. That's sort of like a big, I would say umbrella thing of what's happening astrologically for a couple of years. Okay.
Right. Yes.
Kraylin has her hand up, so I know she's going to add to this. So I'm going to step back right now.
Thank you, Dorothy. That was
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Well, don't be afraid.
It's Pluto.
No, this one
Okay.
is about mental energy, actually.
Okay.
Wands are all about the way we think. They're swords. And a lot of times our mental programming is what generates our fears. It's not that the fears are real. It's just that our experiences in the past have kind of created a loop in our brain that brings all the negative forward instead of allowing the positive creative energy to come forward. This card is a 10. So it's actually the end of a cycle before you move into a mastery card. And it's kind of a short-lived card. I call this a stepping stone. It's not a big thing. It's to create awareness in what you're thinking about. It's basically the fear of ruin, that mentally you think of all the things that could go wrong. And those keep you stuck at times. You know, if you're afraid to step forward because of what could go wrong, then more times than not, you do not move forward. And this is an emotion. It could be about your relationship. It can be about your move and your career. It can be several different things that are basically fears for me come from an emotional place, but they're driven or exaggerated by our mental energy when we're in that negative loop. So I just want you to be aware that when you get those negative thoughts, try to put them aside and say, no,
Right.
That's not where I'm going. And then think of something positive toward whatever it is that the negative is, expressing to you, so that you set up a new mental way of thinking.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
fits all 3 categories. Thanks.
You're welcome.
It's so perfect, isn't it? Because exactly what's happening, that it's a big transformation from 9 to 1, and so much in the numerology chart, so much is changing, pinnacles and challenges, and so it's really cool that you're here, August, to give some of this information.
Earlier
David.
this year, when I started following you guys, I would not have had any of these questions, and then suddenly, when it's my turn to sit in front of you guys, I had every question I could think of almost. So it's interesting. Thank you.
It's
Well, August,
wonderful.
when I was looking at all your information, I came up with a word, divergence. It seems on the one hand you've got, you're at polar opposites on different levels, and it seems to be now, and you're questioning this at this time. a lot of to do, I believe, with the 9-year. Okay, you're at the end of an epicycle. You haven't yet stepped into your first year, which is new beginnings. So in a way, you're probably wrapping things up. What I do, and I'm not here to explain numerology, but I start by looking at your core numerology numbers. So life path, expression, solar urge, and birthday. And they all melt down to 2 numbers, 1 and 3. And when you look at the 1 and the 3, the 1 represents, a lot of times it can be leadership. You very much have, based on what I see here, executive leadership. It could be administrative. It could be, you're very much at the forefront of handling those type of talents. On the flip side of it, when we look at a 3 is very creative. Okay, so you're very, and this comes through, and I'll spend a little bit of time. I don't have much, obviously, but I'll look at your astronumerology too. These core 2 numbers are like screaming through your numerology and your astrology. So I guess what I'm saying to you is, first and foremost, we need to take a look at that in a deeper level, because it's coming through in so many different ways. The 3 is telling me you could be pretty artistic in your own way. I don't know if do you agree with that?
Yes, you're killing me. You're killing me. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So that is, and at the same time, your challenge is saying to me, okay, one of your challenges is saying you're holding back from that, utilizing that creativity. Okay.
Because how do I be an executive who's creative? That's exactly my issues lately.
Oh, there's a lot of creative executives, trust me. Maybe California might be where you want to be. I don't know, but we'll see. But what I would say to you is, okay, so and I'm going to jump over, since I talked about it, your astronumerology, and I'm just going to name a few just to give you an idea. Your life path, your day of birth. Your life path is a 12-3. Your day of birth is a 21-3. So there's a lot of power behind that. Okay, your expression is a 37-10-1. Your time of birth is a 12-3. Do you begin to get what I'm saying here? You've got your sun is a 28-1. Your moon is a 19-1. Your Mercury is a 10-1. I've got your Venus at 3. Now, along with that, sprinkled all in there, you've got your ascendant and your 7th, and you don't have to know about this, but you have a load of 2s, which is all about relationships. Okay, the 2 brings in relationships. Now, I'm going to hop on over really quick because I don't want to take up all the time. But when I look at your astrology, your sun is in Leo, as they've said, in the 7th house of relationships. Okay. So based on everything I've taken a look at, a bit of the challenge for you is, number one, you're probably a great relational person, but where you've got to learn to make this work is balancing a relationship as a son, but yet still being able to stand on your own 2 feet and have the inner knowledge of when you need to do that. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Okay. And that takes a little bit of finesse. That's not an easy thing to do necessarily. Okay, because your moon is sitting down there in the 4th house in Taurus, and I certainly understand why you're thinking about money. Okay, because my moon's in Taurus, it's just in the 10th. But in the 4th, it's all about family. It's about, home. It's about, it's all of that. And so I could see where your mindset would certainly be on that. Now, looking at all of that, jumping over to some of your essences and feelings, and I know we can't go too deep here, but here's basically what it's telling me right now. Your gift and how to get along right now, you're in your 9th house, so new beginnings is not a way to go, per se, not right now. However, if you follow your gift, and this is going along with the number 3, and it's going with the whole artistic aspect of your life, and not right now to focus on the financials, basically to focus on that gift and find within that gift what you need. So what I'm saying by that is simply this, okay? The universe is basically saying to you right now, August, it's time, let's develop that gift, whatever that is, discipline, what have you, give that out to the universe and however it hands, and then see what happens. But don't make your focus all about money in this right now, okay? Does that make sense? So, and I'm just going to say one of your challenge, let's see, it's very contradictory, but it's your transit in your G. There's a promise of financial gain, yet there's also a warning not to seek reward for yourself. There can be success and happiness. It's provided to you after. So in other words, follow your gift. Don't make it all about money. Okay. See where that lands, and you should land where you're expecting to. All right. So hopefully, and just like Sue said, this is all about epicycles. So we got 9 years going around here. You have your new beginning is coming up. Okay. The other thing is, and I've said this before on here, our lives are about lessons and learning those lessons. It's not necessarily about getting a lot of money and putting your feet up later. Okay.
Right.
So you just have to remember, if you play the hand you're dealt in life based on this information, your fulfillment and success will come to you. It just may not be in the way you thought.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave it there for now.
Yeah, and the
That's
nine
really good,
energy,
David.
the nine energy is very cloudy, foggy. It takes a while. It will be the end of this year that it will all start to make sense to you. There'll be clarity that comes in.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, I know.
Because
So
I wake up one morning and all three of the things I post you guys, I rationally know it's fine. I can actually rationalize things are okay. Why was I feeling so tumultuous yesterday? But then the next day I wake up, I'm like, oh crap, maybe it's not as good as I thought. Like the emotions take over. It's very,
Well, that's the lunar
not even-
cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
the lunar cycle. You have to just allow that ebb and flow, because every month the moon is going to be making specific, just every couple of days it makes a different connection regularly. We have to allow that.
nine is
women
an
are,
emotion. I'm
is
sorry.
it? Yeah. And I just feel that it's just it's just feminine energy. So just getting in alignment with that, and just how we're raised and that's a real thing, how we're raised and how, we're not allowed to, don't be emotional here, don't blah, blah, blah. The lunar cycle happens every few hours. You can even feel that. Sometimes it's like, wow, am I bipolar? It's like, where's the moon? I know the moon affects me when it's in fire signs, it impacts me more than when it's in other signs. And I'm like, oh, the moon must be in Aries right now. I'm feeling pissed off. Yeah, it's okay. It's anyways.
Ebbs and flows, energy,
It
and
does
that's
ebb
what
and flow.
that's what we
Yeah.
focus on and we look at is how it ebbs and flows. We can read a chart one day and the next month we read it and there's going to be changes. Things
Yeah.
it never
Mhm.
ends. It's
Yeah.
makes it so fun. 9 is an emotional energy, 3, 6, and 9. So just know that the clarity will come back. It wants
so
you to
I'm
really
gonna-
look at things deeper on a deeper level.
Thank you. So I'll allow 2023 to be kind of a year evaluation and
Yeah.
just chill for a little while. Thank you.
Right, yeah. Also, New Zealand is a 6.
Wow.
Just saying.
Yeah, New Zealand's
Yeah,
pretty.
I can see
you-
why
you-
you're attracted to
You'd
it.
be very busy in New Zealand. It moves your Mars to the midheaven. It's just a tiny island compared to the world. And you actually have Mars smack on your midheaven, which means that there would be a lot of activity. It would be just work, just very active, very active.
That's interesting. Do you
Mhm.
teach it? Do you teach it or?
So I don't directly teach it, but I'm my co-role, I'm a meteorologist and engagements leadership position. So I do think of it as teaching. Every week I do these live streams where I talk about what's happening and why it's happening. And I'm the social media guy who, like, people have questions, I answer them constantly.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's perfect work for
Interesting.
Leo. Yeah.
Yes, it is. That's about words, right? That number 3, it's all about words.
Right.
It's
And the Leo's
expressing yourself.
fire, and it's the attention. I mean, I'm not saying egotistical, but Leos require that attention and real
Yeah, I'm not
quick.
after fame, but I do like a little bit of attention.
Yes.
It hones, when I get the attention, I actually perform better at what
Yeah.
I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
It
Yeah. we have a lot of
validates you.
planets. It
Thank you.
does. Yeah.
Adriana.
Yeah.
Well, Craylin has her hand up first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Craylin.
We have another sword that we're looking at. Let me see, where's my, okay. And
Oh,
it
wow.
happens to be a 9.
No.
Yeah, now, the thing is, don't freak out by the word that says cruelty, because it's not that you're a cruel person to anybody but yourself. Mentally, you beat yourself up and you say things internally to yourself that you never say to anybody else. it's about questioning your abilities. It's about childhood things that you may have been told that keep coming back up to kind of haunt you, about how well you could do something, or how you deserve something or don't deserve something. This is Mars in Gemini, so here we go. We have Mars, we have 9, and a lot of this to me does generate from things we've heard from when we're younger, that we were told when we were growing up, because a lot of our parents don't understand that we grab on to negativity almost more than we grab on to positive things when we're little. And it's amazing how many just comments we store up in our brain that can come back and get us when we're in adulthood. So basically, this card is telling you to be aware when you start beating yourself up, to let that go. It's probably generated from old experiences that are no longer valid, and you need to rethink and release those things.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kraylin. I just have
Yep.
one quick thing to say before we listen to Adriana. The number 3 is about the inner child. So it wants to be playful. It wants to get out and have a good time. It wants to be social and be out on the stage and enjoy all the people around you. You're in your element when it's extroverted, right? And it seems like I've heard the word childhood 3 or 4 times this morning. So I'm wondering if you need to dig a little bit deeper into letting go of some of the stuff that you might be holding on to. Yeah. Adriana.
I want to try something. There's this whiteboard feature on here. I want to know if it works. Yeah, can you guys? Oh,
Let me get out. I'm going to fix it right here. No. I got it. Okay. Okay, try that.
What?
I made it so that all participants can use the whiteboard.
Okay. Presenting.
I think you got to share your screen. Oh, there you go.
Can you see it?
Yep. It's loading.
Okay. So, I can't really see anyone else, but I hope you guys can see me.
The whiteboard.
So, huh?
We can see the whiteboard.
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna write some things. So what I do, August, is unintentionally, but it's just I found my way doing this. I tend to connect more with the energy that resides within a person, and how that can often change different times. That's just where I tend to connect. So currently, within your current transit, you have certain letters that are floating about, and this is energy that is coming up from within inside you. So on the mental plane, you have the letter G. On the physical plane, you have the letter N. And on the spiritual plane, you have the letter R. So if we look at the shape of these, okay, G equals 7, N equals 14.5, and R equals QRS 18.9.
18.9.
Yeah. So if we look at the shape of these letters, they kind of speak to the energy that these numbers bring. So the letter G, the back is rounded to the past. So that lets me know that you kind of do, or you're well at having a more well-rounded construct of the past, or you're able to like comfort yourself by looking towards the past and maybe like intellectualizing it, or making it all make sense to you to where it doesn't really hurt anymore if you had painful experiences, but it's just like, okay, oh, well, that makes sense. And it's not really eating away at you so much. This bar here in the G lets me know that you right now would be more grounded within yourself, with having more self-reflection, whether it's on the present or the past, but within yourself, there's some type of inner thinking, inner work that's going on. And that speaks to the energy of 7. The letter N, we have it's going up, it's coming down, and it's going back up. That speaks to the energy of 14-5, where you're constantly, like they said, the ebb and the flows. You're constantly, you may have a high moment, it moves to a low moment, and then it comes back up. So right now, no matter what happens, I would say, like, whether it's a positive or negative experience, there is no setback for you. And I'll get back to the word setback in a second. This letter R on the spiritual plane is the shape of it. It's more rounded to the present, or to the front. So you like to present yourself to other people. Oh, I can't write over it, but this loop on the R, it's telling me that you like to present yourself to other people in a way that doesn't alarm them, to say, hey, I need help. And this leg down here, that's where possibilities exist. You can kick out to the future. You don't want people to have to take care of you because you're such a caretaker. But this leg is where things may seep out. People may see things. So I think spiritually, you're being told to let other people in as much as you take care of others. So I stopped sharing that now. I'm back. Hello, everyone. So
That was good, Adriana. Thank you.
Yeah.
the reason I looked at the letters is because I was looking at just your full name and the totals of the letters within your name. So your first name equals 8. August, it reduces down to 8. So that tells me that you are somebody who works really well. You may have a struggle with work-life balance at times, but working is not a problem for you. Your middle name, Camden, it totals to the number 22-4. That tells me not only are you able to work, stability is important to you, and you're just able to build. It's something that is intrinsic to you to build. Like with your life path, it meshes well, this creative energy. And then your last name, Walker, it reduces down to the number 7. And that speaks to faith, trusting in the unknown, and really connecting with yourself. So when I was looking at the letters, and then like your transits right now, and then I'm looking at the letters in your name, the message that came through to me was commit to yourself. And I've kind of heard that throughout what everyone else has been saying. Just commit to yourself. One of the things you said in the questions that you submitted was, you mentioned an invention. And it felt like a down kind of energy. Like when I read over it, it was like, and you have this energy that's saying you may have setbacks, you may have difficulties, things may not go the way that you want them to or expect them to, but so long as you're committed to yourself and the life that you want for yourself, it's all possible for you. You can make it happen. I was looking at the timeline of your life, and you had 2 soul-changing years that caught my eye. So one when you were around the age of 10, and another one I think around like 37. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they were both a 13-4 soul-changing year. And 13 is associated with death. But how Dorothy mentioned, you have this Pluto. I don't know all the astrology words, but I heard Pluto. And Pluto and the number 13-4, they both bring energies about that speak to transmutation, which is about even though, you know, you're going through this cycle, something has to be made new. And it's just the things within you are being made new. You're gaining new perspectives. But death, it sounds like it's such a scary thing, but death speaks to a new cycle. So some things are going to have to come crashing down in order for you to go into that next thing. And these soul changing years stuck out to me because I feel like you've had to learn the importance of things not working out the way you want them to, and really rolling through it and staying committed to yourself, staying committed to that vision that you see for yourself, no matter the circumstances. So that's what I have for you today, is just really connect and commit to yourself. As much as you love to do all the things that you do and your connectivity with other people, really commit to what it is that you want for yourself. And I feel like a little more satisfaction, a little less self-criticalness would be a thing, so long as you're just committed, really disciplined in yourself. But yeah, I could ramble about that, so I'm just gonna stop right here.
Yeah, that was good, Adriana. That was very good. The 3 energy, which is your life path, has a tendency to be self-critical. So it's always a work in progress. And I think being selfish, because we were brought up not to be selfish, to think about everybody else, but being selfish really is a good thing, because if you're taking care of yourself, then you're that much better to take care of everybody else. Yeah, that was very good, Adriana. Thank you. I think Craiglin's about to pull us a card.
Yeah, I did.
Oh dear, what is that? What is
it? It's a stepping stone again, but it's a 3.
Oh, oh no.
Wow.
It's a 3 of cups,
Crazy.
actually, and it represents abundance. So you have the ability to create a very abundant emotional experience. It's there, and the 3 represents that. If I remember a little bit about numbers, isn't 3 when you get to be playful?
Yes.
And joyful and creative.
It's the
and
inner
all of that
child.
stuff.
Yes.
I know I'm coming into my 3-year next year. I'm halfway to 3. I'm in a 2 now. And since I'm going to be moving, I'm looking forward to having the 3 energy when I get to where I'm going, which is Oregon. And being close to the ocean again, because I missed my Pacific and I missed my big trees. And that's kind of what this 3 energy represents, is finding things that make you happy, and allow abundance of good positive emotions and feelings to come into your life.
Yeah, because cups is about emotions, right? Cups is about emotions.
It is.
And not all emotions are bad. When we're doing readings and we talk about emotions, people instantly go to the crying, to the sad, and no, it can be very good.
This is a positive.
When you drew that card, I thought, oh, if I actually follow happiness, money will then secondarily come to me.
There you go. Perfect. That was perfect.
Well, and this card helps you get around the other 2 that I pulled, which is your inner mental negativity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
That made me what you said, August, about so long as you follow happiness, the abundance will follow. Sue's been with me on this journey, I guess, like right before things got better for me. But my birthday is on the 8th. You have this 8 energy storming in you on top of this 3 and the 1. So I always say 8 is very ambitious. It goes for what they want. You're gonna just 8. It's in 8's energy to chase money. Like, people think that's a negative thing, but it is in your energy to have material gain and to feel as if you are really accomplishing things both inside and outside. But when I got this job, as much as I can complain about it, this job has honestly been a major blessing in my life. But I had to let go of ego. I had to let go of my want to make this money. I knew that I was perfectly capable of stepping into realms where I could make $1 quadrillion and like everyone's gonna love me. But that was what my mind was solely focused on. And once I started to focus on, okay, I want to be in environments where I'm respected, supported. I want to be able to, build my life in this way. I want to do this. And it wasn't so much about the money. The money came, but I wasn't focused on the money. So
Right.
now it's like, oh, now I've got to let go of, now I've like got accustomed to the money and I'm like, oh, it's too much for me. So, but that's all to say,
Dorothy.
yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's also you're born August with the moon in the sign of Taurus. David already talked about that. And we are drawn, when we have the moon in Taurus, we are drawn to things that just are beautiful, maybe pricey, but it's okay, because it's okay to feel the material needs. We're not spirit, we're physical. So that piece is okay. And it would just continue on. But this is something I wanted to just touch on: relationship, like personal, interpersonal relationships, your partner, and then for everybody, this is for everybody, but I am looking at your chart, August. But okay, right now in the sky, Venus is in the sign of Leo, as well as Mars. Those are the two planets that really do rule our drive for what we love, what we're passionate about, and our drive to do it. That's Mars, that's Venus. Leo, you understand Leo is like, be passionate. So you said, follow your happiness, follow your joy. I'm going to add to that, because it's more of a Leo word, follow your passion. We all need to do that right now. Venus is in the sign of Leo for quite a few weeks. Usually it's just like 2 or 3 weeks, but it's in there for months. It entered June 5th, leaves October 8th. And in this time frame, July 22nd, these dates are always important, to September 3rd, it's retrograde. In that retrograde period, July into September, is a period of reevaluation. And for you, August, it is in the partnership area of the chart. And that represents for you, again, your partner, the person that you live with, your spouse, however you look at that. There is something, the passion's gone, or we need to do something to reinvigorate the passion, whatever that is. What is our common place nowadays? What does that mean to us? I can't look at your I don't have your partner's chart to know where this is happening for your partner, but it is still an overall feel for everybody. The planet Venus in Leo, especially retrograde, is asking us to find that piece of creativity. And I've heard you say that a few times today too, that you're looking for the creativity, and to find that spark again. So it will show up. We get to, in the retrograde period, again, that July into early September, we do have the opportunity here to try fun and new things, and to just start to explore. So when it comes to your intimate partnership and relationship, there's an opportunity here for you to figure that out this summer, okay, into early fall. It's a beautiful opportunity. You can't ignore it. That's not a threat. All of a sudden I realized, I was like, oops, these words just come out sometimes. It's not a threat. It just means just honor it. You get it. And then in the partnerships that you are in, like, you're real important, whether it's a legal thing going on, because I don't know, I'm only guessing. It could be a legal thing for some people if it's in the 7th house. I don't know if you have that. Work contracts, because you're making an agreement with somebody, things like that. So you want to, in the time frame, that July 22nd to September 3rd time frame, give it some wiggle room. And that's when we really do have to reconsider a lot of things as to, what we're agreeing to, not agreeing to. If you have to sign contracts, that's fine, but just look at it. Sue and I always do a Mercury retrograde thing. Every quarter we do one of those things, and it's similar to that, but this is more about what we love and what we value. You get in alignment with all of us, if we get in alignment with what we love and what we value at this point in time, and really be truthful and honest with ourselves, the finances will support us.
Yeah.
Or just get it. It's just like get in the right vibe, and it all just happens anyways. But this is what Venus in Leo is saying. So it's super personal and it's there. And one more thing,
Wow,
your
that's
progressed
really
moon
good.
entered Sagittarius just a couple weeks ago out of Scorpio. So this darker feeling that you may have been having for a couple of years is you're shedding that coat now. And progressed moon will move through Sagittarius. It'll take about 3 years. And Sagittarius, foreign travel.
Oh, there
Play,
you go. Yeah.
play. It's the inner child. We get to shed the crap. And because we've
Yeah.
gone through this dark night of the soul, maybe, I don't know if you have or not, but it sure feels like it when progressed moon was in the prior sign. Now
Mhm.
you just have an opportunity, and it's just like a new baby. You're just like, oh, I'm new, but I'm not steady yet. So again, 2023 is like that. It's matching up with the nines and all the other numbers everybody was saying, and all the other astrology. It's a good summer to get your you know what together. Like, what am I really passionate about? And I just have to stop doing the extra things that I just do because I've always done them.
So
Yeah. Oh,
should I wait until after September 3rd to really codify contracts or rethink things and money?
I want you to
I would.
process during that time. If you
Mhm.
absolutely have to make decisions, then that's just what how it's been set up, that I mean, I will never tell anybody not to make a decision. But if you do make decisions during that specific retrograde, just like the Mercury ones, sometimes later on we have an opportunity to revise it. Right. So yeah, don't
It
not do
slows
things.
down, right, Dorothy? It
does.
slows down. So
It
you
does,
could,
but
you could,
exactly. It's like having too many choices. It's like, oh my God, I can do this and this and this and this and this today. What do I want to do? It's like, what do you feel? Because that's going to give you the best. And that's what it's like for quite a few months for all of us with the Venus in Leo. Mars is there. You are a Leo. Venus stations right on top of the sun in your chart. So this is why I know off the bat, which I know that was all astrology words, that mainly means that you are really honed in on where you're shining and how you feel in your partnership and relationship. It's incredibly important this summer. And you asked about it, so it already is. I'm not saying important that it's big, bad, or anything. It's just you'll look back at this time as a period. It's the last 2 weeks in July, first week of August, where you really will feel you guys have made some headway or decisions, whatever it is. These are wonderful opportunities really to explore and say, well,
yeah,
what do you
I agree with that. Because July is the sixth personal month for
Oh.
you,
Mhm.
August. And that's about making relationships better or letting relationships go.
That's
It's about
exactly what I was
working
trying to
on it.
say. Yeah.
Right.
And not just your not just your domestic relationship. This
Right.
is
Relations are
also
a big word.
it
It's a
sure
very
is.
big
I know. I
word.
always have to say that because we all just like when we think emotions, we all go to the like, oh, I'm feeling
Negative.
upset. We don't. It's like the joy. So remember, the relationships are also all of any of the relationships that are going to be actually, the interpersonal.
Yeah, that's like your brother, August.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. I
you
forgot
might be
about
able to clear that up, or that might be the month you say, I can't put any more energy into this.
Thanks. It's funny, and not funny to you all. I'm sure it makes sense to you all that relationships have all become challenged along the same timelines. It's
Mhm.
very interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Huh.
Pluto is on your ascendant and straight across from these, it's on that south node, the nodal axis, but it's also on an axis that represents, I'm doing this, it's the astrology. Who am I? And the opposite side of the relationship is the seventh house partnerships. And who am I in my partnerships and relationships? Yes, this has been going on for about a year. And this is from where I started in the beginning. I'm very handsy today. Where I started in the beginning It is, this is exactly what you're working on. And again, this Leo transit I was just talking about with Venus and Mars, etc., is hanging out over there in that partnership area. So it is exactly, this is it. All of the relation. It's like, Jesus, all of them at the same time. Yes, because there's a common thread. So you figure out the common thread, and that immediately will just like send the signal off to all the other relationships, and they'll all, everything will fall into place the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah, I feel like May 2024 could be very interesting within relationships for you.
Let's see. That's what I got it. in one of my
Because
dates.
you're really gaining momentum with the number one, which is new beginnings. And let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, and May is going to be the 6th month again. So
Yeah. I see some bigger transits going on then too. You're about to have your Uranus opposition, and Uranus in astrology is weather. Weather is ruled by the planet Uranus, and you are, even though you've been doing this for a while, the transit of where Uranus is in the sky compared to where you were born, like I mentioned that earlier, it starts right around the age of where you're at now, and next year it hits in July 2024, October 2024, and then April 2025. And what this represents, since it represents changes and the midlife shift, if you will, but since you are involved in weather, Uranus is weather. And so I really feel that the career and the focus, how you're focusing your career, that will have some sort of burst of energy, if you will.
right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, we don't give
because
you too
6
much
is
time to
about
talk.
responsibility.
We talk so fast. We barely give you time to answer us. I apologize. Okay.
August, do you have any comments for us or questions for us at this time?
Nothing major. I have been following the threads, and you will answer things that I didn't even need to ask as we go along. And all I'll say is that I trust you all not to be giving me a pep talk in so many words, unless it was in what the information you're seeing. So it's been really helpful and bolstering of me. Thank you.
Nice.
Nice. Wonderful. Wonderful. Anybody have any last words they'd like to bring in on the table? Now, we're all available for a full reading, August, if you choose to do one of us, take the information will be on the bottom of my YouTube thing and I'll send you that link. Probably, I usually get through all the work by Sunday, so I can get it out by Sunday. So you can reach out to any of us if you'd like to go more in depth.
Thank you.
Adriana, what did you have? You look like you had your hand up for a quick second.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
sorry.
My final thought is just, August, a setback is only a setback if you allow it to be so. So relationships, work, life, whatever. If you allow it to be so, then so it is. If you don't allow it, then it's not. It's all in how you move in it.
It's funny, the word, and it's very interesting. The word reset is what I think of when you say setback. It's some compromise word. I feel like there's not setbacks necessarily coming, but it's a reset. It's a recalibration.
Yes, that's beautiful because that's the transformation between 9 and 1. Yeah, that's beautiful.
But the brain and the childhood stuff we all talked about, the setbacks are there with a little bit of imposter syndrome, all the things we're familiar with. But I'm with your help today, I'm going to stop listening to some of those negative self-talk items.
Yeah.
Say something positive. The Buddhists remind us that if you do think of a negative thing when it comes in, immediately just really do. You're not denying it, but just find a positive mantra that's really productive for you. So whenever those negative things come in, doesn't mean you're not going to work on it. This is the Buddhist way is to process and to just move into the light again. Just get right back into it.
Because you can't say I'm going to stop thinking about it. Because as soon as you say that, I just keeps coming back.
Dig a hole.
If you can get a mantra, very simple one, and use just that one,
Mhm.
so that you can quickly pull it in when it happens, then you can, that will start to shift things and you'll start to look at things differently.
Does.
Most definitely. Well, okay, that was really fun, as
Thank you, everybody.
usual. We always have
Blessings.
such a wonderful time. So thank you all for coming and watching our video. Again, if you would like to have a reading from any of us, all the information is down below on my YouTube channel, which is Numerologist Sue Coffin. So our next group will be July 1st, and we're going to be visiting with Karen, who is on the screen.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ah.
Karen is from
Finally here.
Vermont. We love Karen. Karen is a healer. And she has a couple questions about, she's thinking about clearing and cleaning and selling her home, when it's going to be a good time for that. Also, she runs 2 businesses and would like to know a little input on that. Which one do I move forward? Which one do I pull back? Or just do I keep going forward as she moves along? Right? That sound
Yes,
right, Karen?
Yes, that was an amazing reading. I could only hope to have such a wonderful one.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
That was
Thank
great.
you.
I listened to the whole time.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Very good.
It is,
Beautiful.
it is so amazing how it all comes together.
Yeah,
I mean, who pulls a 3 and a 9 and a card, right?
I
And
know.
that's the numbers that we're working on. We're all talking about.
Yeah.
It's just, energy is energy, and we're all so blessed to have our modalities and be able to share it with other people and help them with their lives. Yeah, so blessed.
Yeah.
All
Thank you,
right,
everybody.
gang. Until
Blessings.
next time. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you, gorgeous, for
you.
coming.